This is going to be the toughest fight of his career.
Shut up, relax.
The most embarrassing fight of his career.
Chair across your face.
Yeah, I think he's about to cry.
I'm definitely up for fighting. There's a lot of names in the division, for sure. But at the same time, look at what this creates as well. I'm a fighter and I understand that economics of business as well. And this does good business.
Are you really going to do this? Absolutely. Are we going to do this? For a record payday? To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should and what we shouldn't be doing.
Anthony Joshua has delivered a chilling message to Jake Paul. And it's not just trash talk. While Paul may see this as a massive payday, Joshua's camp is making it clear just how dangerous this matchup really is. AJ's manager, Eddie Hearn, warned Paul directly that he needs to understand the risks, because one clean Joshua punch could have serious consequences. Meanwhile, former professional boxer Moses Itama didn't hold back either, telling Paul that stepping in with Joshua could cause real harm.
Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua. Really, in my view, it's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area level fighter, a British area level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves. Because
but even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glimpse of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price
Agree
on
with
the
you.
planet in order to...
Many experts believe Jake Paul's choice to face Anthony Joshua isn't just a massive career gamble, but a serious risk to his health. For instance, boxing insider Ariel Helwani warned that Joshua's sheer power and experience could cause severe damage, pointing to brutal knockouts as a genuine concern.
Has been beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. You might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke shop in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying out loud. He can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, all right, nothing's going to no doubt's going to disappear. All that's going
Moses, a rising heavyweight, even warned Paul to put his health before the payday, saying one mistimed punch could have long-term consequences. Former world champion Amir Khan was just as direct, telling Joshua that he could seriously hurt Jake, with the risk of lasting damage being very real.
So I sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? Yeah. Why do you look surprised when I don't? I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying. Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's going to get hurt badly. And this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
When you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you don't look. You can't be surprised if AJ is going to do the same to what's it called again? What?
This fight isn't only about money for AJ. There's serious pressure on him to win cleanly to protect his reputation. Some figures in the sport, like Johnny Nelson, believe that if Joshua struggles or lets the fight drag on with Jake Paul, it could make him look like he's chasing a payday rather than proving he's truly great.
I do believe it because AJ is involved, and I think AJ would struggle to he's going to take enough slack flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it is an Owen situation. If he goes in there and Jake Paul lasts the distance, what does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what do you say about AJ? No, your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football.
Nelson has
golf.
spoken plainly about his views on Jake Paul's boxing path. He says Paul is extremely smart at building a brand, but not because he's a top-tier fighter. In Nelson's view, Paul is a capable boxer within his own space, yet he earns money comparable to a world champion without following the usual route. He highlights that Paul didn't grow up in boxing gyms or work his way through the ranks like most fighters. His fame started online. Nelson acknowledges that Paul has found a way to make boxing more profitable, but he still doubts Paul's credibility at the elite level.
Boy, he's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport.
Carl Froch, a former world champion, shares that view. He believes a fight with Paul could damage AJ's image and hurt his chances of becoming a future Hall of Famer. To be fair, Joshua has been clear that he values his long-term health highly, saying he wants to be remembered as someone who walked away from the sport healthy.
Burner's lit, like I've said. He's cashing out. And fair play to him. He's cashing out. But to what detriment to his legacy? A lot, really. Because if this is going to be his last fight, fighting this clown show, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's no ideal way to go out. But people would argue, well, he's just taking the money and running. So you can't really argue with that. So that's it for another episode of Froch on Fire. I had to get my opinion out there because I know you've all been waiting for it. It's a shame, really. I'd like to see Anthony Joshua, actually, even though I don't believe he can do it. But when Eddie Hearn tells us that AJ is going to become a 3-time world champ, it'd be nice to see the rebuilding process and get back behind him. 1 or 2 easy fights and then go for a world title. And this could be one of the 2 easy fights. But I just think if you're going to jump in with fake Paul at this level, which is like I say, arguably a massive mismatch, it's no way to step towards or climb a ladder to get towards that world title. So this, for me, tells me that Anthony Joshua knows he's finished at any sort of elite level or world level. He won't be trying to go down a world title level anymore. This is just a cash out. So good luck to him. Fair play to him, but hopefully when he's finished this fight, he'll be honest with us and say, listen, I've milked it, I've creamed it, I've had an unbelievable touch at the end of my career. I mean, he's already had an outrageous touch, hasn't he, with the involvement of Saudi Arabia, and now he's just creaming it at the end. He's got fake Paul, which is massive. Great for AJ, fair play to him. Anybody would do the same at the end of the career he's had. You know, he's not an elite heavyweight, is he? He's never going to come back and become...
Anyone would think that way after the career he's had. You know, people say he's no longer an elite heavyweight. Still, Jake Paul is convinced he can beat Anthony Joshua and believes he's identified genuine weaknesses in Joshua's recent performances. Paul criticized AJ on his show, describing him as stiff, fragile, and limited in skill. He pointed to Joshua's recent knockout loss to Daniel Dubois as proof that he's declining, saying now is the perfect moment to strike. Paul claims his unconventional style, confidence, and motivation give him a real chance in what most people see as an extremely dangerous fight.
Is Jake Paul doing this? Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shop-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have too much self-confidence. He does believe in himself. Well,
Jake Paul believes this fight is his opportunity to shut up everyone who says he only faces weak or washed-up opponents. By stepping in with Anthony Joshua, a true heavyweight and former world champion, Paul says he's finally proving he can beat real elite fighters. He claims all doubts will disappear if he defeats Joshua, saying no one will be able to deny him. Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas has a cautious interest in the Joshua-Paul matchup. He warned Paul that the gap in class and experience could be overwhelming, but he didn't completely dismiss the fight. Atlas noted that Joshua's recent knockout loss and long layoff could mean there are ghosts in the house, suggesting possible vulnerabilities. Even so, Atlas admits Joshua remains the bigger and more powerful puncher, but he's willing to watch to see which version of AJ shows up.
Having said all of that, this might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding, too, that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it so. It makes it two things at once: intriguing and, in some ways,
Atlas doesn't believe Jake Paul will ever become a truly great boxer. While he respects Paul's work ethic and praises how intelligently he's handled the business side, he says Paul is still a work in progress. Atlas appreciates that Paul hasn't disrespected the sport and has put in genuine effort, but he doesn't see him reaching world-class status. He credits Paul as a smart marketer, yet remains cautious about his ability to compete at the very highest level. In Atlas's view, Paul simply isn't built to beat just anyone.
That does it for this week's recaps and previews. I want to throw one more thing at you. And that's the news. It's been out there for about a month or so, and it's picking up more steam. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Now, Eddie Hearn came out this week most recently and said, I never thought I would say this, but right now, the front runner for this fight is Jake Paul for Anthony Joshua's ring return. Joshua coming up almost on a year in September since his KO loss to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport.
Oladipo, a boxing analyst, has been frank. He said Jake Paul seems confident that he could challenge Anthony Joshua, but Oladipo warns that Paul may be underestimating the danger of facing a former heavyweight champion. He even suggested that AJ could potentially score a knockout within the first 30 seconds. While Oladipo admires Paul's courage in calling out such a much bigger opponent, he believed Joshua will ultimately win due to his superior skill and power. Jake Paul also revealed a staggering figure. He claims his matchup with Joshua could be worth around $267 million. Reports indicate that Paul and Joshua might each take home $92 million. Paul's comments have fueled speculation that the total payout could be even higher when factoring in streaming rights, pay-per-view, and other revenue streams. If true, this fight wouldn't just be a major sporting event. It could go down as one of the largest financial shows in boxing history.
AJ versus Jake Paul. Jab.
AJ.
Defense.
AJ.
Chin.
AJ.
Footwork.
AJ.
Boxing IQ.
AJ.
Personality.
If Jake Paul suffers a heavy defeat to Anthony Joshua, it could seriously damage his ability to draw fans to his shows, despite his huge social media following. Paul is one of the few crossover fighters today who can reliably generate massive pay-per-view numbers. But a decisive loss to a real heavyweight like AJ would give critics plenty of ammo, with claims that he isn't tough, isn't elite, and can't compete with top-level professionals. Even his appeal as a celebrity fighter could fade. Casual viewers might start seeing him as just a YouTuber playing at boxing. Promoter Eddie Hearn has warned that if things go wrong, this could mark the end of Paul's boxing career. Ultimately, the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is much more than entertainment. A lot is on the line. Paul believes this is his chance to prove he belongs in the serious fighting world, but many see him taking a huge risk facing a true heavyweight like Joshua. Concerns over Paul's health are significant, given that he's younger, lighter, and less experienced. For Joshua, the main motivation appears to be financial, with promoters predicting a record payday, though a mistake could harm his reputation. The bout is expected to generate massive attention and revenue, but many in boxing view it as a high-risk, money-driven matchup rather than a pure sporting contest.
Take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. Swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional. It's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like total.